Fox City CPN 4. For the first time this year, our Cablevision cameras take us courtside for a Fox Valley Association battle between the Kimberly Papermakers and the Appleton East Patriots. The Papermakers are red hot, currently ranked #1 in the state in Division II basketball, of course coming off a state championship season, and last week that huge win over Fond du Lac. The Makers playing just about as good as a high school team can play right now, but so are their opponents, the Patriots. Appleton East winning 8 of their last 9 games coming into this contest, and the only loss in that stretch coming against the Makers little more than a week ago. The Makers currently holding on to undisputed first place in the Fox Valley Association, while the Fond du Lac Cardinals are second, and this Appleton East team third. The Makers rely on tough pressure and man-to-man defense. They also have excellent perimeter shooting. Oh, while the Patriots can pop the tray as well, they like to work the ball inside to Brett Hornseth, their 6'9" center and their leading scorer. East coach Ron Parker also calls him the best shot blocker he's ever coached in his 19 years. Hornseth will have his work cut out for him against this talented swarm of Papermakers, and will return for this huge Fox Valley Association matchup between Kimberly and Appleton East right after this timeout.
This weekend, why not take
on Cablevision of the Fox City CPN 4. From the home of the Kimberly Papermakers, it's a Fox Valley Association matchup between Kimberly and Appleton East. Kimberly ranked #1 in Division II basketball. Coming into this contest, currently undefeated, 8-0 in the FVA, 12-0 overall. Meanwhile, Appleton East 5-3 in the conference and 9-3 overall. Tonight's first half is going to be brought to you by the Community Blood Center. 40,000 units of blood are needed across America each day, and you can help by calling the Blood Center at 738-3131. Starting for Appleton East, Joe Hensler, Eric Vaubel, Ben Johnson, Brian Setzer, Ryan Blakesley. For Kimberly, it's Jason Diaz, Aaron Bukowski, Rick Bergheist, Jason Fritz, and Joe DuPont. And Appleton East controls the tip. Ben Johnson into the lane hard. He misses the shot. And he's fouled inside by the Papermakers' Rick Bergheist. The first time these two teams met, it was a pretty close game going into the third quarter before the Papermakers ended up winning 62-39. And in that contest, the big guys underneath for Appleton East, 4 players that average in double figures, among their biggest, that being Brett Hornseth, their 6'9" senior center, held to only 4 points in that contest. Johnson misses his first free throw. Second one is good. So Ben Johnson gets the Patriots on the board early. And talking before the game, Coach Ron Parker, in his 19th year as head man of the Patriots, says he's going to mix it up a little bit. Opening shot for the Papermakers comes from Aaron Bukowski, and the 6'4" senior, averaging 13 points a game, opens up scoring for the Papermakers with a tray, and a 3-1 lead for the Papermakers. Who will go with their man-to-man and mix it up a little bit, play some zone trap. Move inside the paint. Battle for and brought out by Ryan Blakesley. Three-pointer on the way, no good from Brian Setzer. Rebound pulled down by Jason Diaz. Across the timeline, Bergheist on top of the tube where he's picked up by Setzer. Left side, Diaz swings it to the far side. Shooting for Aaron Bukowski, and Kimberly's first turnover in the contest. Brian Setzer, the 5'7" junior, will set it up. Scott Komp has an ankle injury. He will not be playing in this contest. Appleton East with their first turnover. 3-1, 6:53 to go here in the first quarter. Nice to have you with us. The first time we've had a chance to broadcast a Fox Valley Association matchup. Appleton East winners of 7 of their last 8. Kimberly, of course, cruising along undefeated. Almost a traveling on the Makers. Jason Fritz over to Diaz, baseline jumper, no good. Johnson had it and had it stripped away. Aaron Bukowski with the steal. Johnson gets credit for the rebound, and Bukowski gets credit for the steal and the basket. 5-1 lead. Inside to Jason Hensler, the 6'5 senior. He draws the foul. Joe DuPont picks up his first personal and the second team foul against the Papermakers. Three-pointer from Ben Johnson, good. The 6'2 senior, averaging 11 points a game, has all four of his team's point. 5-4. Papermakers on top. Lob it inside to Bergheis. Loses it. Diaz comes up with the loose ball, scores, and he's fouled. Jason Diaz, the second leading scorer in the Fox Valley Association, averaging 19 points a game. 6'6 senior on the line to shoot one. Cap off the three-point play. A 7-4 lead for the Papermakers. Diaz with a nice touch. Eight-4, Papermakers on top as Setzer sets it up across the timeline. He's picked up by Fritz. All alone with the jumper. Eric Vaubel. Little iron, a little glass. Finds its way through the hole. 8-6. Back comes Bergheis. Bergheis shadowed by Setzer. On top to DuPont. DuPont into the lane. Some nice passing, but a block underneath. Who got the block? I think it was Ryan Blakesley. It was Eric Vaubel who tried to lob it back inside to Johnson, outside to Johnson, who threw it away. Second turnover against the Patriots. Bergheis against Setzer. Three-pointer from Diaz, good. Diaz rode the pick down along the baseline on the near side and canned it from 20 feet away. 11-6 lead for the Papermakers. And a nice steal attempt by Bergheis. He already picked one clean. Bukowski picked one clean underneath and laid it in for a basket. An 11-6 lead. Appleton East a little bit sloppy here in the early going with some of their passes. Johnson over to Setzer. Top of the key. It's Blakesley. Almost picked away again by Bergheis. Almost picked clean by Johnson. Looks at the three-pointer. He'll fire off the back of the rim. And off the fingertips of Joe Hensler. Into the game for the Patriots comes Andy Ferenkrug and Chad Hetke. For the Papermakers. Makers enjoying an 11-6 lead here in the early going. 4:25 to go in the first quarter. It's Bergheis against Setzer. Bergheis to Diaz. Long range three-pointer, no good. Rebound cleared out by Hensler. Almost picked away again. Blakesley with the dribble for the Patriots. He'll come into the lane, send it back out to Johnson on the right wing. All alone, free throw line jumper. Vaubel hits it. Vaubel and Johnson accounting for all of the Appleton East Patriot points. An 11-8 lead for the Papermakers. It's Bergheis. And that should be an East ball. Blakesley knocked it away underneath. Disrupted Bukowski's charge to the hoop, and it went off of Aaron's fingertips, and the ball controlled by Appleton East. Setzer picked up by Chad Hetke. A little one-on-one ball handling. Setzer to the hoop and scores. Brian Setzer, nice move along the baseline. The 5'7 junior pulls his team to within one with 3:20 to go in the first quarter. Enjoyed an excellent JV game prior to this one. Kimberly winning 51-48. They didn't put it away until the closing seconds. Diaz's three-pointer, no good from the far side baseline. Turnaround, no good from Bukowski. Andy Farnkrug with the tip in. His first 2 points of the game, 13-10. Kimberly leads. Both coaches going to the bench early here. And a traveling call against the Patriots. Their third turnover in the first quarter. Into the game for Appleton East comes John Wendlandt. Brian Vanass into the game for the Papermakers, along with Sean Lilly and Dave DeGoy. Lilly with the ball on top of the key. Over to DeGoy, trying to work it inside. Farnkrug overshoots his target. Ball out of bounds, another Kimberly turnover. That's 3 against the Makers. 2:35 to go in the first quarter. You know, every day in America, cancer patients, premature infants, and thousands of people with other illnesses and injuries need blood. Please help by calling the Community Blood Center at 738-3131. Someone is counting on you today. Ben Johnson counting on some help from his teammates as he clears it out of the lane. Baseline jumper in for Nate Jansen. Nate Jansen with a nice touch on the baseline from 13 feet away. Makers up on top by 1. Lilly into the lane. He drives, gets a little iron, gets his own rebound. 3-second call maybe coming up. He loses it. Somebody got the block. The ball comes up to Joe Hensler. Here comes Johnson. He'll try a three-pointer in for Ben Johnson. His second tray of the first quarter. He has 7 points. A 15-13 lead with 1:43 to go in the first quarter. Now Ron Parker wants his team to play some half-court trap. Lilly has the three-pointer. He'll pass it up, set it out on top to Vanass. Over to Lilly, back to Vanass. Swing it left side. Chad Hetke looking for some help on the baseline. DeGoy is there. Lilly back on top. He controls it, sets it up on the left side to Vanass. East now playing a 1-3-1. 1:13 to go in the first quarter. Appleton East with their first lead of the ball game on top, 15-13, and East with the steal. Ben Johnson comes out with it. Doesn't find a trailer. Johnson has a man wide open on the far side. Now into the lane is John Wendham. He can't connect. Rebound comes down to DeGoy. Hetke to Lilly on the baseline. He scores. Sean Lilly, a 6-foot senior. With his first 2 points of the game. And it's all tied up at 15 with 28 seconds to go. Johnson bounce pass left side to Nate Jansen. Ben Johnson takes it on the left wing where he's picked up by Lilly. Standing the man-to-man, trying to set up a post up underneath. Now they rotate one man around the right side, and that's Wenham. He had a lane, just 4 seconds, 7 seconds left. Johnson's going to have to work it in. He does. Right side. This time, Jansen hits it from inside the three-point line at the buzzer. And Nate Jansen comes off the bench to score 4 points and give the Patriots a 17-15 lead at the end of the first quarter. We'll be back for the second 8 minutes of action after this.
When you take the cable out of television.
Home of the Papermakers, where the Patriots lead the Papermakers by a score of 17-15 as we get ready to enter the second quarter of action here on the high school game of the week. We are at the halfway point of the Fox Valley Association season. And a defensive battle brewing here. The number 1 and number 2 defenses in the Fox Valley Association. The number 1 defensive team is Kimberly, allowing only 50 points a game. The number 2 defense, the Patriots, allowing only 53 points a game. But on the other side of the coin, Kimberly, number 3 on offense, averaging a torrid 69 points a contest. East is 8th on the offensive stat, where they average only 57 and a steal. By Eric Vaubel. With the ball inside and a travel call before the basket goes down for Brett Hornstedt. The 6'9 senior has yet to score, and he scored only 4 points in that game won by Kimberly earlier this year. Just about a week and a half before this one. Baseline jumper short. Battle for the rebound coming out to Joe DuPont. Diaz will set it up on top of the key. Now East goes back into a man-to-man after showing some 1-3-1 zone earlier. Coach Ron Parker said his zone defense gave the Papermakers some trouble in that first game. But once the Papermakers got the lead, they relied on some nice perimeter shooting, just like the one three-pointer you saw there from Joe DuPont, the 6'3 senior Kansan. 18-17, Kimberly on top again. Nice pass on the far side from Hornseth to Vaubel. Vaubel definitely has the height advantage. On the court right now, Appleton East has 4 players that are 6'4" or taller. And that's going to go over to the the Patriots. Patriots with a 19-18 lead, 6:37 to go in the first quarter. And that first quarter only lasted a total of 10 minutes. It flew right by. Only 2 fouls, team fouls on each combatant here in this battle. Vaubel hits some iron. The basket should count. And we're going to have a defensive foul inside against the Papermakers. Now, does this basket count or not? The basket counts. Okay, let's set things up here. Who got the basket? Vaubel gets the basket. He has 8 points. And the foul will be whistled against Aaron Bukowski, his first, and the 3rd team foul against the Papermakers. Patriots maintain possession with a 21-18 lead and 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Johnson on top of the key into the baseline. Vaubel works the baseline. He may have stepped out of bounds before he could send it over on top of the key to Setzer. 21-18 lead as they march it back down the other way. Lob pass inside to Diaz, but we get the block. Brett Hornseth went up to get the block, but Diaz draws the foul. And this will go against Hornseth, the big guy picking up his first. The 3rd team foul against the Patriots. Diaz on the line. As we mentioned earlier, an 82% free throw shooter. He misses that one. Diaz with 6 points in the game. The 6'6 senior averaging 19 points a contest this year. And he cans the second. .555. Nice crowd here on hand. Not quite as big as the one that showed up for the Fond du Lac game a week or so ago, when they had to set up video cameras in the commons. Ben Johnson battles his way inside. He hits the hardwood, but not before he drops the pigskin through. 23-19 lead. Patriots on top of the Papermakers. Diaz drives the lane. Oh, he took a step. He got away with it. Gets the pass off. Shot no good. Diaz is going to get called for an over-the-back foul. Jason Diaz with his first, number 4 against the Papermakers. Talking before the game with East coach Ron Parker in his 19th year, he said this is the toughest he's ever seen overall, the Fox Valley Association Conference, the quality of the talent. Diaz gets the steal. 2-on-1 break. Diaz has it. Almost stepped out of bounds. We're going to have a foul down on the other end, but a nice job of defensive transition by the Patriots. Joe Hensler draws the foul, number 55, his first, number 4 against the Patriots. And Diaz back on the line to shoot 2. Into the game for Appleton East. John Winnett. Will shoot a pair. Diaz 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Haven't been a lot of fouls in the first half. or in the JV game either. The referees pretty much let the guys play. They called them consistently both ways, and it was a fun game to watch. Well, that JV game was an excellent one. This one is turning out to be a beauty as well. 23-20. Abilene East with the lead and the ball with 4:55 left in the first half. Into the lane, driving. John Wendlandt. John Wendlandt with his first 2 points of the game. So the bench of Abilene East has scored 6 points. A nice pass inside. Good defensive pressure by Abilene East as they drop and converge nicely. Diaz swings at left wing. Jumper in and out. Kimberly can't get that ball to fall into the hole. Another shot missed. Tapped around. Diaz gets the rebound. Looks at the three-pointer. Now he'll take it. It's going to be short. Ben Johnson gets the rebound and draws the foul against Aaron Bukowski. And boy, give Abilene East credit for playing some tough defense. They lead 25-20 with 4:14 to go in the first half. Some more substitutions. Chad Hetke into the game for the Makers. Nate Jansen back into the game. As I was starting to say, the East bench has done a great job of outscoring the Kimberly bench up to this point. Nice pass inside. Beautiful block from behind. Boy, Jansen got it inside to Hornseth, but then again, a nice block from behind. I think that was Joe DuPont that got his hand in there. 25-20. 3:47 to go in the first half, excuse me. Man-to-man defense. East has shown a variety of defenses here in the first half. Some 1-3-1 and some 2-3 and a lot of physical contact underneath, like you just saw right there. Johnson controls the ball after the turnover. Johnson with the behind the back dribble. Makers will stay into their man-to-man. Nate Jensen swings it over to Johnson. Ben drives the lane and picks up the foul as he tries to wrestle the rebound away from Jason Fritz. Ben Johnson with his first, number 5 against the Patriots. .312 left in the first half. 25-20. East on top. And the Makers bring it back down the other way. Coach John Myron, 4th year as head man of the Paper Makers, the defending state champions. Diaz shoots, he misses. Rebound comes down to Wendlandt. He's played a heck of a game here. Right side. Ooh, he thought about it for a second, Nate Jansen did. Now Jensen has it stolen away. Hesitated a second too long. Nice pass down court, and they're going to call a foul against Eric Vaubel. And that will send Chad Hetke to the line. Chad averaging 4.5 points a game this year, an 83% free throw shooter. And he'll be on the line to shoot a pair, try to trim the lead from 25 to 21, possibly 22. Hetke misses the first one. So Kimberly only 3 of 6 from the free throw line in this contest. Trail by 5 with 2:44 to go. First half. Second one is in for Hetke. 5'10" senior with his first point of the ball game. Sets her back into the game for Abilene East. Both coaches will go to their bench in a liberal manner. We see a lot of faces out there tonight. Nice steal from behind. That was sweet. Going the distance with it is Bergheis. Bergheis with his first 2, 25-23. Like a thief in the night, he came creeping. Picked it clean. Wendlandt on the baseline, takes it 9 feet away. Nice shot. John Wendlandt with 4. (27-23). Wendlandt puts his team on top by an even number again, excuse me. Nice feed inside. Beautiful feed from Rick Bergheis inside to Aaron Bukowski. Bukowski with 7. Nice assist and another steal by Bergheis. Goes the length of the court. Has it blocked. Now it's picked up. Try to work it inside, and now it's finally picked clean by the Patriots. Bobble cleans up the loose garbage and hands it over to Setzer. Setzer bounce pass on the right side to Wendlandt. Jumper free throw line. Appleton East is hitting everything as Joe Hensler, Brett Hornseth. Cans his first couple. Back to a 4-point lead with 1:05 left in the first half. Driving the baseline and scoring is Chad Hetke with a hanging move after he penetrates into the lane against the tall timber. He lays it in. A little spinning shot falls through. 29-27 down to 50 seconds first half. Appleton East with the lead. Free throw line jumper, almost a baseline jumper. And we're going to have an over the back foul against the Papermakers. Hornseth gets the rebound. This will go against Joe DuPont, his second, and the 6th team foul against the Papermakers. Ben Johnson back into the game. Patriots. Ooh, almost had to burn a timeout right there. Bobble. To Wendlandt. He's had the hot hand. In for the tip and scoring the basket. Drawing the foul is Arik Bobble. Bobble with 10 points in the first half. And this one will go against Rick Bergheis, his second. So 3 of the Kimberly starters have at least 2 fouls here in the first half. Bukowski, Bergheis, and DuPont, each with 2. On the line to shoot 1 is Arik Bobble, the 6'5" junior, in and out. (31-27), 23 seconds first half. Diaz. Let the clock wind down a little bit. Bergheis out to Diaz. Down to 10. A steal. Setzer steals it. And a traveling call before he can bring it up court. So the Papermakers draw a short break. And an opportunity to put one in here with 3 seconds left in the first half. 2-1. They're going to have to get the shot off. It won't count. It won't count. And the first half ends. A very impressive first half for Appleton East. Ron Parker and his troops lead John Myron and his players by a score of 31-27 here at the intermission. We'll be back to recap the first half of scoring right after this. The 1994 Division II state basketball champs, the Kimberly boys, trailing Appleton East right now, 31-27 at the intermission. Boy, this has been an impressive first half for Appleton East. They've spread out the scoring, as has Kimberly, because both coaches will go to the bench frequently. For Appleton East, their leading scorers: Arik Bobble with 10. 9 for Ben Johnson, including a pair of 3-pointers. 2 for Brian Setzer. 2 for Brett Hornseth off the bench. 4 for Nate Jensen off the bench. And 4 for John Wendlandt off the bench. The bench of Kimberly hasn't done all that bad on its own. They also, with a couple of points, Sean Lilly with 2. Andy Fahrenkrug with 2. 3 for Chad Hetke. The rest of the scores: Joe DuPont with the 3-pointer, 2 for Rick Bergheis, 7 for Aaron Bukowski, and 8 for Jason Diaz. It all adds up to a 31-27 lead at the half for Appleton East. And we'll return for the second half of action in this Fox Valley Association battle of first and third place right after this timeout. Back for the second half of action in the high school game of the week. The Papermaker Wasp is going to have to get his swarm a buzzing here. The Papermakers down at the half, 31-27 to the Apple East Patriots. The second half of today's matchup brought to you by the Outagamie County Domestic Abuse Program. We need some volunteers. Please call us at 832-1667. That's 832-1667. Apple East coach Ron Parker in his 19th year has to be happy. He's assisted by Bill Miller, Brian Hacker, and Mickey Gilbert. John Myron, well, his team has the firepower and the capability to bust it open. They get a steal as they bring it back down the other way, and just that fast, Aaron Bukowski, he has 9 points, and the lead is cut to 2. Apple East starting out like they started the first half, a little bit sloppy with their passing. And that Kimberly Papermaker defense is tough. The #1 defense in the Fox Valley Association. Ben Johnson comes into the lane. He loses it. May have been a pass. Arik Vobble with his 12th point as he gets the loose ball in the basket. Back up to 4. Diaz. Boy, a couple of these losses for the Patriots have come right down in the closing seconds. Picking up the foul is Brian Setzer, his second. And the first team foul in the second half against the Patriots. Well, that first half went by in a blitz. Neither team even coming close to getting into the bonus. In the first half, 9 offensive rebounds for Kimberly, 3 on defense. And 2 offensive rebounds for Apple East. And 7 defensive rebounds. Ben Johnson with the basket. He continues with his hot hand. He has 11, matching his season average. Diaz comes to the basket, draws the foul. And this one will go against Brett Hornseth, his second. Team foul number 2 against Appleton East. John Myron in his 4th year. He's assisted by Tom Hagney, Randy Rapala, and Tom Weinberg. And Diaz, who came into this game shooting 82% from the line, is 3 of 7 from the stripe, making 3 of 8. They're really having a tough time from the free throw line. 4 of 9 as a team. Johnson's pass, pick clean, coming down the other way is Fritz. 3-pointer from Diaz. Hasn't been able to get his touch. He hit his first couple, and he's been ice cold since then. Johnson brings it down. Johnson setting things up on top of the key. Setzer trying to set a pick for one of the bigger guys underneath. Setzer almost has it stolen away. Johnson almost has it stolen away. Now Setzer has it on top of the key. Picked up by Fritz, staying in the man-to-man. Bounce pass, spin move, wobble. Johnson, baseline against Diaz. He needs some help. He gets rid of it. On top to Setzer. Swinging it wide right to Blakesley. Blakesley on the baseline. Jumper from Hornseth. No good. Fritz with the rebound. Bergheis on the dribble right side. Over to Diaz. It may have gone off of Diaz's. No, they're going to say Kimberly ball. Blakesley arguing with the referee to no avail. Into the game for Appleton East comes Joe Hensler, the 6'5 senior. 36-30. Appleton East on top with 5:35 to go. Nice pass inside. Diaz with the alley-oop. He gets the assist from Joe DuPont. Diaz with 10. Lead cut to 4. 5:23 to go, third quarter. East on top. East has led at every break. 17-15, 31-27 at the intermission. And a travel call underneath. Patriot turnover. Here come the makers. Bergheis picked up by Setzer in midcourt. On the left-handed dribble. Bukowski runs into Joe Hensler. his second and the third team foul against the Patriots. On the line is Bukowski, and he'll be shooting a pair. Bukowski can't hit it. Ooh, Kimberly ice cold from the charity stripe. Bukowski, an 81% free throw shooter. As a team, Kimberly shoots almost 70% from the line, so that's a pretty good team average. Second one goes down. On the near side, Blakesley almost loses it. They work it inside nicely. Hensler inside to Hornseth. And Brett Hornseth with his 4th point. He only scored 4 in that first game against the Papermakers. Been held down pretty quietly tonight, too. Diaz forces one. Johnson clears it out. 38-35. Johnson on top of the key. Swings it on the left side to Blakesley. Ben Johnson. He'll take the three-pointer long range. Good for Ben Johnson. The 6'2" senior with 14 points and an 8-point lead for Appleton East. And the Patriots fans, there's a good amount of them here, get on their feet. 41-33, 4:03 to go in the third quarter. We'll be back in just a moment. 41-33, 4:03 to go in the third quarter. You're not seeing things. That's right. Appleton East with an 8-point lead here in the third quarter on the Papermakers home court. And Appleton East has done it with some torrid shooting and taken advantage of some ice cold Papermaker shooting. Diaz misses again. Here comes Johnson. He'll slow things down and set it up. Now Ben comes to the baseline. Charges in, leaves it off nicely. Blocked from behind by Diaz. Hornseth was thinking stuff. Johnson did an excellent job of penetrating and dishing it off, but Diaz with a fine defensive maneuver. He knocks it away from behind at the last second. Long range three-pointer, no good. Attempted by Bukowski, picked clean by Johnson. Johnson leaves it for Nate Jansen. Ben Johnson fires a three-pointer from about NBA range and then some, and hits another one. Ben Johnson with 8 third quarter points, 44-33. And another Papermaker timeout. A chance to remind you that Heartbeat, the Heart of the Valley shows a CPN production that features news and activities happening in the Quad communities. Pecana, Little Chute, Combined Locks, and Kimberly. So tune into Heartbeat Tuesday nights at 8:30 here on CPN 4. And John Myron, fourth-year coach of the Papermakers, is just livid. There we see Ron Parker. He's got to be, got to have that funny feeling in the pit of his stomach. His team has an 11-point lead against this very powerful Papermaker team. Now you got to keep just kind of grinding on your teeth and hope your team can hold on. But boy, the Papermakers have taken advantage of those missed opportunities. The Patriots have taken advantage of the missed opportunities by the Papermakers, including a ton of missed free throws, a ton of missed three-pointers, and the Patriots come back down and hit the transition basket. A couple of three-pointers from Ben Johnson. He has 4 in this contest, and it's an 11-point lead with 3:05 left in the third quarter. Now the Patriots fall back into the zone. They got the big meat inside. They don't have to worry about giving up the easy basket inside. It's the three-pointers they want to keep Kimberly away from popping. Diaz spreading it out. 18-footer baseline in and out. And we're going to have a foul before the shot as the rebound's picked clean by Andy Farnkrug. And this shouldn't be a shooting foul. It's a big foul, though, against Brett Hornseth, his third. And it should be the 4th team foul against the Patriots. It is. the 6'9" senior will take a break, leaving the game with 3 fouls and 4 points. 2:35, Diaz. He'll try the three-pointer from long range and hit. That brings the Kimberly crowd to their feet. They haven't had a lot to cheer about. Diaz with 13. That cuts the lead to 8, just that fast. 2:19 to go. And a steal. Diaz had it. He lost it. Now it's battle for, I don't know, the possession arrow should be pointing toward the Papermakers. It is. And the Makers get the loose ball. Ben Johnson pointing toward his head, saying, think a little bit out there. Think about your passes. Patriots have had a lot of those forced passes into the heart of the Kimberly defensive pressure. And the Makers have come up with a lot of steals. A couple of fast break opportunities. They've been fouled on a lot of fast break opportunities, haven't been able to convert. Diaz shot may have been tipped. Diaz's shot was tipped by Arik Vobel, and a foul whistled inside against Joe Hensler, his third. So the 6'5" senior getting into that foul trouble area. His team now with 6 team fouls. And Kimberly cannot buy a basket. Ben Johnson is playing his game of the season tonight. And a traveling call against Hensler. 44-36, a minute 34 to go, third quarter. Appleton East on top. Across the timeline. Bergheis against Blakesley. Bergheis forfeits the dribble. And the Papermakers had a wide open shot. Harnkrug went too hard to the glass. And here come the Patriots back the other way. Blakesley on top of the key in minute 11. Bounce pass to Vobel. Vobel gets the loose ball again on the baseline. Leaves it out for Blakesley. Vobel to the hoop, off the glass, good. Oh, they're going to wipe away the basket. Eric Vobel looked like he had the position and the good shot because the Papermaker player had come in to give him the hip. There's Ben Johnson again, pointing to his head, saying, think a little, don't get too excited. We've got an 8-point lead, and let's play smart now. Papermakers are shooting themselves in the foot. All the Patriots have to do is just take their time and hit a 2-pointer, 3-pointer. Papermakers just can't buy a basket. In and out. Diaz there with the foul. Jason Diaz has accounted for 75% of the Papermakers scoring in the second half. He has 7. 44-38 and another steal. This one by Fritz. Nate Jansen whistled, and just that fast it's going to be cut to 6, possibly less. Down the line to shoot 1 and 1 will be Jason Fritz. Patriots getting a little sloppy with their passing again. Maybe it's not so much a case of they're getting sloppy with their passing, just evidence of an excellent defensive team here in the form of the Kimberly Papermakers. #1 defensive team in the FBA, allowing only 50 points per game. I tell you, they can't hit a free throw, save their lives. Jason Fritz misses another one. First one he's missed. For the Papermakers, a foul from behind. This one whistled against Aaron Bukowski. That's 3 on him if it's against Aaron. Only the first team foul against the Papermakers in the second half. 6-point lead with 4 seconds to go in the third quarter for Appleton East. the Apple East player, Setzer, was called for stepping out of bounds and then coming back inbounds and receiving the pass, and that was a good call. So now the Papermakers will have 4 seconds to get off a shot and try to cut into this Patriot lead. Diaz fires down court, almost canned it at the buzzer. 44-38. We'll be back for the final 8 minutes of action. Appleton East poised for the upset. Can they hold on? Find out after this. 44-38. Back for the final 8 minutes of action. Everyone has the right to live violence-free. The Outagamie County Domestic Abuse Program has been providing safety and support to victims of domestic abuse and their children for 10 years. For more information or to volunteer, please call at 832-1667. Community service reminder from Cablevision and the Fox City CPN 4. 3 offensive rebounds, 2 defensive rebounds in the third quarter for the Papermakers. Just to show you how badly the Makers have been shooting, 8 defensive rebounds for the Patriots alone in the third period. Patriots with the ball as we open up the fight. There's another bad pass. Diaz with the steal. He'll go the length of the court, and he lays it in. Jason Diaz has cut the lead to 4 with 7:34 left in the game. The Patriots led by as many as 11. Ben Johnson fires the three-pointer. He's had the hot hand. No good. Diaz picks it clean. If the Patriots can't hold on to this win, it's going to be those bad passes, those forced passes that are going to be the albatross around their neck. And the good passes by Kimberly helping them get back into the game. And Ron Parker wants to slow the Kimberly momentum. 44-42, 6:54 left in the game. We'll be back right after this. As you can see, a capacity crowd on hand for this high school matchup between the Papermakers and the Patriots. Patriots on top by 2, 44-42, 6:46 left in the ball game. Baseline jumper from Hensler, no good. Ben Johnson fighting for the rebound. He gets it, he lays it up. He's fouled underneath. And it's going to be a 2-shot free throw. And this one whistled against Bukowski. That could be his 4th. It is only the 2nd team foul against the Papermakers in this half. And Ben Johnson on the line. Johnson sizzled the nets. 8 points in the third quarter, including a couple of long-range bombs in three-point land. Hits the first free throw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 free throws attempted by Appleton East in this game. Johnson misses the second. Diaz pulls down the rebound. Bergheis across the timeline. Right side to Hetke. Hetke picked up by Setzer. Almost loses it. Hetke keeps it alive. Diaz tries the three-pointer. No good. Ben Johnson had it. And Johnson is mad. He wanted a foul. Now they want to tell Ben Johnson can't understand why he wasn't whistled for a foul, or somebody wasn't whistled for a foul. Well, he doesn't get the foul, but Patriots do get the ball. Originally they had signaled Kimberly ball, and now you'll hear the Kimberly fans react to that call. Maybe that was his way of atoning for the non-call. Here come the Patriots, nursing a 3-point lead with 6 minutes left in the ball game. 6:10 to be exact. Hornseth goes inside. He may have traveled with the ball, but he'll draw the foul. And this one will be against Andy Fahrenkrug. His first. 3rd team foul against the Kimberly Papermakers. Into the game for Appleton East comes Arik Vaubel, the 6'5 junior. Joe Hensler will take a break. Setzer can't get it in. Now he does. Ben Johnson picked up by Rick Bergheis. Nice shot. Beautiful touch from Arik Baubel. Baubel with 14. He had 10 first half points, only the second basket of this half for Baubel. Diaz, fall away jumper, draws some iron, and it falls through. Two, 4, 6, 8, 11. Jason Diaz, excuse me, has 11 of his team's 16 points here in the second half. 47-44. Apollini still on top with 5:34 to go. Ben Johnson had Setzer alone on the baseline. Setzer back to Ben Johnson. Johnson on top of the key to Hornstedt. Ben drives the baseline. He'll pull it back out. He'll try it again. Setzer, three-pointer on the way. In for Setzer. Brian Setzer with 5 and another tray for Appleton East. A team not known for the three-pointer. They have 5 in this game and lead by 6 with 5 minutes to go. Top of the key, Fritz. Setzer goes for the steal and he'll get called for the foul. Ooh, and that's a costly one because the Papermakers now in the bonus for the remainder of the ball game. On the line, shooting the 1-and-1 will be Chad Hetke, an 83% free throw shooter on the line, 5'10" senior. Let's see what Kimberly's done from the line in this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5 of 12 from the free throw line. Kimberly Papermakers. Hetke hits his 4th point. Hetke averaging 4.5 a game. He drains both of them. Aaron Bukowski back into the game for the Makers. Aaron nursing 4 fouls. A 50-46 lead with 4:45 to go in the 4th period. Nice to have you with us here on the high school game of the week on Cablevision of the Fox City CPN4. Setzer top of the key. Man-to-man pressure. Relentless from the Papermakers as they force a turnover. Woodland tried to get it inside on the pick and roll to Baubel. And threw it away. 4:30 left in the game. Bergheis picked up by Setzer. Fritz, long range three-pointer, good by Aaron Bukowski. Bukowski with 15 points, down to 1 point. Appleton East had been up by 11 at one point here in the second half. Ben Johnson. Setzer traveled with it. Setzer pleading his case to stone ears. So I know I faked the shot, but my feet never left the floor. Kimberly with a chance to retake the lead. They trail 50-49. And a pass inside knocked away. Well, if you see our camera start to move around a little bit, it's because there are so many people here and they are making so much noise and they are banging so hard on the bleachers. I feel like we live in San Francisco here. Bukowski fires the three-pointer, no good. Ben Johnson got to be close to double figures in rebounds in this game. Setzer had Johnson open on the left wing all alone, and Ben wanted to take another pop at a three-pointer. You can see it. Setzer, oh, he traveled. That time he didn't get called for it. One time when he shouldn't have, that time he should have. All evens out. Diaz will pick up the foul as he tried to reach in against Ben Johnson. Diaz with his second foul. Team foul number 4 against the Makers in the second half. 50-49, 3:19 left in the ball game. Ryan Blakesley, 6'4" senior, back into the game. He'll replace Wendlandt. John Wendlandt leaves the game with 4 points. 4 big points off the bench for the Papermakers. Ben Johnson between the rings. Swings it right side to Setzer. Setzer tries to lob it inside. Diaz comes up with the loose ball. Diaz may have got a finger in the eye as Bauble was flailing at it from the near side. Diaz with a look on his face. In and out, and then in again for Aaron Bukowski. And a big basket for Bukowski, giving the Makers the lead for the first time in the second half. 51-50. Ben Johnson across the timeline. Ron Parker wants a timeout and will take a break. 2:34 to go. The Makers back on top. We'll be back after this. Whoa. An exciting fourth quarter of action finds the Kimberly Papermakers back on top 51-50. They have outscored the Patriots 13-6. Wait, that's not right, is it? Well, I guess it is. Pull within 1. Johnson with the ball. Into the lane, Ben Johnson tried to force the pass and has it picked off. Johnson had Hornseth open. Papermaker defense picks it clean again, and now they throw it away back on the other end. Under 2 minutes to go, 1:57 left. Setzer to Blakesley on top to Johnson. Nice block by Diaz as he rejects the shot of Bauble. Now Diaz will try. Ooh, I thought he was going to pump it up. Nice defense inside as Bauble gets a hand and knocks it up. Hornseth brings it down every possession, going to be a key one now for both teams. 1:16 left in the game, and we'll keep it here. Wisconsin's Lieutenant Governor Scott McCallum will host the Legislative Update, a program that examines one current topic from several points of view. Produced exclusively for cable customers by the Wisconsin Cable Communications Association, Legislative Update is shown Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock. Following our high school game of the week replay right here on CPN 4. Coach John Myrick on the sidelines. See Jason Diaz with his head bowed and the head shaved. Diaz has been a one-man show in the second half with 11 points. Aaron Bukowski has contributed to the cause. He has 10. Bukowski's points, most of those have come here in the fourth quarter. Setzer picked up by Fritz. Ben Johnson on top to Blakesley. Blakesley to Ben Johnson. Ben comes into the lane. He has it knocked away. Free ball. Diaz had it and saves it and keeps it alive. They come back down the other way. And a basket counts, and the foul is drawn by Aaron Bukowski. Aaron Bukowski with 9 points here in the fourth quarter. And the Papermakers on top now 53-50 with 48 seconds left. And another bad pass by the Patriots precipitated the breakaway and the basket. And just as the Papermakers were their own worst enemy with missed shots And missed free throw opportunities. The Patriots have been their worst enemy with forced passes in the paint. The free throw good by Bukowski. And now another steal and a foul. Probably going to be called intentional. Now they're going to give him a bonus. This one whistled against Eric Vaubel. Another bad pass. Well, midway through the fourth quarter, with about 6 minutes left when the lead was cut to 4, the Patriots still had the lead. I said if anything is going to be the key to their demise in this game, it's going to be those forced passes. Sure enough, that's what's come back to haunt them here. It's not over yet. Free throw missed by Fritz. The Makers are going to be spending a lot of time at the charity stripe next couple days making up for this horrendous free throw display. Jumper good by Vaubel. Vaubel with 16, 54-52 with 22 seconds left. When a Man Loves a Woman and Beverly Hills Cop 3, just 2 of the top titles playing this week on Cablevision Home Theater. Why would you want to fight the weatherman when you can call 738-7380, 738-7380, 24 hours a day, and get one of today's top movies delivered right to your television? That's Cablevision Home Theater, another way we bring you great performances every day. .22 seconds left in the ball game. Ron Parker and his Patriots discussing some defensive strategy. They trail by 2 with 22 seconds left in the ball game. We're in the Paper Makers' nest. The Paper Makers needed to put a little sting to the Patriots, and they did just that. Not before they went down by 11, however. It's been the Kimberly defense that's made the difference in the fourth quarter, and we'll see if the Patriots get the inbounds pass. It goes off of Diaz's legs. It's going to be a jump ball. It should be going to the Patriots. Possession arrow going to the Patriots. Now it's going to go over to the Paper Makers. And Ron Parker is arguing that well, they're both sides of the gym coming to life here as Ron Parker gets very animated down along the baseline. And now John Myron wants a timeout to settle his troops down with 19 seconds left in the ball game. Well, Ron Parker wanted traveling. He thought Jason Diaz was rolling around on the floor like a wrestler trying to bridge out of a pin. And now the possession arrow will be going to the Patriots. I thought they had the possession arrow. And some of the assistant coaches are talking with the referees saying, hey, check with the scores table. Just check with the scores table, please. I think what they're getting excited about is they changed the arrow and the assistant coaches weren't aware of it. And they thought it was pointing toward the Patriots. 54-52 with 19 seconds left. Well, the Patriots have, they almost set it up. The Patriots would have had a chance for a breakaway. Diaz tries to get it in bounds. And that foul could have gone either way. I'm telling you, that one could have gone either way. The foul will be whistled against Ryan Blakesley. His fourth. And on the line will be Rick Bergheis. Bergheis with 2 points in this contest. However, he's had some key steals and knockaways inside on the defensive end. 1-on-1 on the way. He hits the first one. This is the big one for Mr. Bergheis. I don't believe the Patriots have any more timeouts left. He misses. Patriots come up with the ball, 15 seconds left. They need a three-pointer. Almost a traveling call. Setzer fires the three-pointer. In and out. Ball's knocked away. And we're going to have a reach and foul with 3 seconds left, and it looks like the Papermakers are going to go on and win the basketball game. Setzer had the shot. It looked like it was going to drop, and it rimmed in and out. Bob will call for the foul, his fourth. Jason Fritz will go to the free throw line with a chance to ice it. And he does. The first point of the game for Jason Fritz. And that ices it for the Papermakers. The Papermakers will escape again with a 56-52 win. Ben Johnson fires the three-pointer. It doesn't matter. The Papermakers pull off a 56-52 victory. Appleton East gave it all they could. But in the end, it was their tough Papermaker defense that turned the tables and pulls out a 56-52 win. We'll be back to wrap things up here from the home of the Papermakers, Kimberly winning. We'll be back after this timeout.